Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Not Hoarder. This is Tom. Today I want to run through one of my favorite things to collect. I've done several videos on these. It's my favorite niche in the hobby, and that is the 1800s baseball trade cards. It's just been one of my favorite things to do over the last few years, is find some unique examples of these things. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first one I want to share with you today is the 1890 McLaughlin Brothers die cut. This is a paper die cut. I believe they were from a game, and they're actually pretty tough to get. There are 6 known teams that you can get. You can see this one's the Chicago team, and each player in the set has their own pose, but every team has all the same player poses. They just change the team names on the players. But it's just a really cool example. They are blank on the back. They come in strips, and so they were meant to be cut apart. So this is typically how you find them, is cut apart. It's a little over, I don't know, probably 4 inches in height. You can see on the left over here, it's another die cut from an enameline set, referred to as the college colors, and that's a pretty good size die cut. And you can see that this guy is just a little bit smaller than the enameline one. And to give you a reference to one that you probably know a little bit better, it's the 1888 Raphael Tuck and Sons die cuts. So you can kind of see the size difference kind of stair-stepping up there. The Raphael Tuck and Sons are a pretty standard size that I like, but this McLaughlin one, not as big as the enameline, but still pretty cool. But let's see. Next, I'm gonna go to this 1880s H804-33, and this is a gold medal coffee baseball trade card. This comes from a 9-card set. These are relatively tough to get as well. Most of the stuff I'm going to share today are ones that are harder to get. But this is just a really neat image. On the back, it's an advertisement. It's kind of like an endorsement from a professor at Ohio State University, kind of talking about the quality of gold medal coffee kind of being unmatched to other coffees of that time. But you can see in the background here, this is actually another gold medal coffee trade card from that same set. That's actually one, I've shared that one before, but I don't think I had pointed it out the last time I shared it, because I don't know how true it is. I've never seen anybody actually reference it aside from myself. I did it on my Instagram one time, but you don't get a lot of like player faces. These are, generic characters that are on these cards here. You can see not a lot of detail in the faces at all. And this card is actually one of the few cards where they actually give a player some detail, and you can see that in the batter. And what I referenced on my Instagram page is like that batter looks eerily similar to a 1888 Cap Anson. So if you look at his Goodwin Champions card, very similar mustache and facial features. So I don't know if the likeness is just by coincidence, or if maybe they were trying to make you believe that was a little Cap Anson on there. So that's one of the reasons I really enjoy this copy here, is just because of that. But overall, it's a tough set to acquire. Back whenever I got that one, I think I paid maybe like $30 for that, and that would have been, I don't know, probably close to 3 years ago now, 2-3 years ago. And now these cards, these gold medal coffee ones, they're upwards of $200+ per card, depending on condition, really. But I've seen the last couple sales are, close to 200 and even over 200 per card. So they've really jumped up in value, or at least interest right now. The next one is, this is a cutout of this card that I have over here. This is actually one of my favorite trade cards. And this is a McLaughlin Coffee. So unlike that die cut that I shared, that was McLaughlin Brothers. And it's a little bit different spelling than what this McLaughlin is, but this is a coffee trade card. This is a K66 trade card. And this is a super tough to find poster cutout of the same trade card. So this one, you can see it has a blue border, and getting a little fuzzy, there we go. Blue border and a red border to the outside of it. This card is relatively the same size as the actual trade card back there. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch wider. The height is pretty much the same top to bottom, but the width is about 1/8 of an inch larger than this one back here. And this is a blank back card since it's just a cutout. I've never actually seen the poster that it comes from, but just reading online, that's just what they claim that it came from, was from a poster. But aside from this one, I've never seen a copy of this except for the example image that I found online of one. So I'm assuming there's not very many of these out there. I've been collecting this particular type card, this K66 card, for a few years now. I now have 3 of those and have now added the poster cutout. So I was super happy to be able to get this. So, and also, for reference, if you ever find yourself looking to purchase one and it doesn't have any words on the back, just know that it's probably the poster cutout. So, you know, they could trim off the outside border, make it look like this one here, and just say that it's altered, but the backs of these have the actual, like, advertisement for the McLaughlin Coffee. So just know that the actual card has the advertisement. The poster cutout is a blank back. But still, beautiful example of this card. One of my favorites. Next is, it's an 1880s trade card. I don't know the H804 designation for this one. But what this is this is actually the cover to a bifold scorecard. So there would actually be another chunk to this card that'd be over here and it'd kind of fold in on itself. It doesn't have the scorecard printed on it, but this is a standard cover for those scorecards. So this one's a little rough in shape, but overall these are really tough to get as well. And I was super happy to find this. It is really neat if you can find the scorecard on the back, and even cooler if it's actually been scored from a game back in the 1880s. Those are out there, but they're very expensive. But you know, kind of a goofy picture though on this. You know, you got the ball falling back behind him here, and you got his little catcher's mask on the ground there at his feet, and he looks like he's just kind of tiptoeing cluelessly. I don't know if that's a word. Just kind of prancing around a little bit, not knowing what he's doing. But that was another one that I love to add because I didn't have any from that set, that scorecard set. Let's see. Next is, oh, these are great. This is cards. I have 6 of them here. These are referred to as the Cadillac of baseball trade cards. These are the H804-21. These are some of the most sought after baseball trade cards from the 1800s. And the main reason is because they use a likeness and a actual player's name on the card, whereas most trade cards are generic players or drawings that really don't have any reference to a real player, except for this set. So this set is super desirable just because of the names associated on them. And there are actually, I think it's a 10-card set, and 5 of the 10 players are Hall of Fame players. And the other 5, you know, they weren't bad players either back then. So obviously they were put on these cards for a reason. And This first one here is actually a super nice example, and this is the Cap Anson card. You see down here, it's got these little captions that say, this one says, "Oh, come off," and it's got Anson in parentheses down there. And then they got the team name that they play for at the top. All of these are actually advertisements for this same Tansel's Punch, the 5-cent cigar. So they are blank backs. There's no advertisement on the back. You see there's some glue staining because they did come out of a scrapbook album, which most of this stuff does from back then. But this Cap Anson, you can just see it's got beautifully sharp corners and great color on it. So this is a very, very nice example of the Cap Anson. So like I mentioned, there are 5 Hall of Famers. I have 4 of the 5 Hall of Famers. This one is the King Kelly card. It says "Our Own Kelly" down here. It's got him playing for Boston as a catcher, but what's funny, and I don't know the reason for this, but they have Bosting up here. I don't know why it says that, but I really can't find anything on that references why the misspelling of Boston up there. So that was just an interesting feature of that card. And once again, these are all blank back. There's no advertisement on any of them. This is the Tim Keefe card, playing for New York. Such a cool image. I just love his outstretched leg there. This one is of Mickey Welch. And it says "Smiling Mickey" down there. You got the New York up here. You can see a little bit of paper loss on this one, and obviously a chunk out of the corner. But these are so tough to get and so expensive if you find them in nice condition. Even in this poor condition, they can be really pricey. Here's one of Ed Andrews. This is a super nice copy of Ed Andrews as well. Philadelphia up here. I love the ornate type writing up there. And the last one, I believe that is Jim McCormick. And very cool image of him. It says "A slide for home," so sliding into home plate, about ready to get tagged out. And this is actually another, just noticed that as I looked up there, this is another misspelling. So Pittsburgh, at least currently, is spelled with an H at the end. This one is not, so maybe that's how they originally spelled Pittsburgh back in the day. But just a great set of cards. I was very, very happy to get those. Like I said, those came from a scrapbook album. I was able to pick up the scrapbook album and get those out myself. So I've gotten a lot of cards like that. Very happy with most of them that I get out, though. Next this is actually a pretty cool advertisement. It's not really a trade card that has a H804 designation, but this is a very cool, little bit oversized, so you can tell it's a little taller. I gotta hold it back, but it's a multi-sport advertisement for the Sporting Life, and it is dated down in the bottom. Let's see if I can get that to clear up. Yeah, dated 1889. So this is one that I've only seen a couple copies of this before. They're always in super bad condition. This one's actually not too bad overall. Beautiful picture on it. I love all the sporting equipment that they have on this thing. And even the little pup sitting there on the right. I like that. Beagle for the hunting there. And then you got the baseball scene up here with the lady standing beside the baseball scene. It's just a great card, great colors on it. Overall, very nice. The back has an advertisement on the back, and you know, I was reading through this, and I kind of get the sense that this is actually possibly a redemption card of some sort, because right in the middle here, they're just advertising for the Sporting Life, and in most of what they're saying, kind of telling you how many copies they've sold and stuff like that. But it says right there, it says, "Send to us for a sample copy." So I'm assuming that they're talking about this card. Send them this card, and you can get a sample copy of the Sporting Life. So it's essentially like a redemption card. You know, you get a copy of Sporting Life, you give them this card. So That was a really neat one. I actually picked this one up on Facebook. I was scouring through some Facebook posts and came across this and snagged it right up. But Facebook always has some interesting stuff. Sometimes it goes fast and sometimes people are asking too much, but occasionally, just like eBay, you come across the deal, and that was one of them for me. All right, and let's see, I got one left, and this is actually not necessarily a trade card per se, but this is an 1888 N173 Old Judge cabinet card of Blondie Purcell. So you can see this is trimmed. It has been taken off the bottom tag down there for the Old Judge. You can see it does say, let's see if we get that to clear up, copyright 1888 Goodwin of New York. And I picked this up on eBay. I was super happy to add this as well. Cabinet cards are typically out of reach for me. This was a listing that had a poor title to it. It actually populated under my saved search for trade cards. It was an auction. I ended up winning the auction. I thought it was a pretty fair price that I won it for. And what's actually kind of unique about this is I started researching it a little bit because I didn't know a ton about Blondie or this particular N173, but I can't find an instance of PSA or SGC ever grading a copy of this specific cabinet card. So Blondie Purcell, not a very well-known player by any means. He played for 11 seasons. He managed the Quakers in 1883, and it was an atrocious record of 17-81. So he was never a household name, popular player by any stretch of the means. He was around for about a decade. And from the way I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe these cabinet cards were like requests. So you would pick the cabinet card that you would want. And so what I understand is most of the popular players had cabinet cards that are more readily available, I guess, even though they're all tough to get. But the big name players you see those pop up more, but these common players, you don't see them very often. So I don't know if there would be a premium for this because it didn't list him in the auction as being Blondie Purcell. I actually had to look that up to find it because this image is actually used on his standard Old Judge card, his N172. And so this is a pretty unique card, and I can't find any other copies of this. So I would guess that there are not many of this specific cabinet card out there. Just to share with you the back. The back has some writing on it. Somebody did some calculations. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. Just that I have a cabinet card from the Old Judge set is fantastic. You know, it's not something I usually target. I wasn't looking for this stuff. It just kind of popped up for me. So I wanted to make sure I grabbed it. And obviously you can see I have it out of the case. The case kind of took away from the card. I think me handling it here for a few minutes will be just fine. But this is a super cool addition that I love to add to my PC. It's just such a neat picture too of him. Looks like he's catching a high fly because I believe he was an outfielder at the time. But this was actually the last piece that I had for you. Looks like I'm coming up on about 20 minutes now doing a video. So I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. I always do. Comment down below if there is anything that you like or any questions that you have for me. And as always, don't forget, there's a fine line between a collector and a hoarder. Which one are you?